What up, y'all? Today's May 20th, 2019. Coming at you today to analyze some risks. I haven't updated y'all since Friday. None of my altcoin bids got filled. I got real close on a few of them. That seller token, oh, you know I'm salty about that. It has done a 70% of an increase since I was looking to buy it 2 satoshis away. But looking at the BTC chart, that's where you gotta start off at. You saw that drop all the way down to like 6,500 the other day. On some exchanges it hit like 66, other exchanges it hit like 63. It closed today at like 7,300. The two didn't close below this one. That type of wick is normally what you see when there's a lot of buyers in the market, and obviously people still wanted Bitcoin. That second day volume though, not a lot of volume coming in, and as you can see, this third day from this 7,250 jump all the way to 8,400, real low volume in comparison to what have been previous on these levels. Your OBV currently trending down because of this candle right here, but still not in the same spot, even though price just returned there. And you can tell the RSI also weakening off, which, you know, you expect. Literally RSI is just replicating what you see on the charts. It's relative velocity, and if price is already touched there, you're gonna get a weaker reading, which is, well, how people decide to short. So this retest, you know, anyone that's shorted up here, obviously you're green currently. I would at least want to see this candle close 7,700 if I were to think it would keep going down. But I'm not trading this. I have some Bitcoin held that I'm gonna trade into some altcoins today. But I'm not looking to buy any more Bitcoin temporarily. I'm gonna hope for it to get back into this range down here, and if it never comes, it never comes. But I think it's pretty likely. When you look at the weekly chart, this is some of the most volume that has ever come in for Bitcoin this past week alone. You can see, I'll turn off that. You see this giant fuck you volume candle. Looking back at the chart, we've seen volume similar at this dump. The first time it dumped from 59 to 36. And you see this dump again here from 89 down to like 58. And then, you know, you see these volumes on massive moves. And given this is a massive move from like 6,800 8,400, that's a pretty big move. But also a lot of Bitcoin is transferred into new buyers' hands. Obviously there have been buyers down here that have sold to new people up here. Just, you know, be careful for a weekly candle like this. The following week where you get a really big fuck you, always have your stop loss predetermined before you enter into a trade, so you don't end up buying around here and then watch it come all the way down here, where you kind of got a 16% better price on something, or more, you know, like that's a bad trade. I wouldn't short that if I was looking to buy right here. If you were going more something here, you know, with this line, sure, 100%. But yeah, just buying and not setting a stop loss here, you're opening yourself up to a lot of possibilities. Like, you could drop 50% for real. Nothing's guaranteeing that you won't. I would love to see like a cup and handle, with this being a bigger cup and then this being a small handle. But you know, you evaluate that when you get there. Just don't leave yourself unprotected. That said, Bitcoin's currently at like 78.50, and there's some fucking altcoins that I am excited about. Stratus, of course, I've been looking at for a second. I'm looking to buy this shit at like the 1092 level. You saw volume coming in on the weekly this past week, and yeah, I think 1092 is a good buy level. On the daily, you still have, compared to even just 2 days ago, if you would have even bought back here, where these lows were back at like 1166, that's still another 6-7% that it's dropped. So I'm completely okay with picking up at the bottom of these wicks where buyers had previously come in at, and I'll risk it down to like 1052. My first target for real is going to be like, there's price action in this area right here, and this like 1600 area, obviously with these candles. So if it hits here, I'm going to at least, you know, move my stop loss up to break even. I would be comfortable moving up to like the 1400 zone. But my main target for real is this 2000, because that's where it starts hitting this range. You have an old like price action back in December on the 1700 zone that you could look to sell in at. But this is more of a long-term play for me. I'm going to size in again a quarter of my account because I want a 4%, you know, buffer here from where my entry is to where I'm cutting it at. But after it breaks past the 2000 zone, like, targets that you could have could be 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. You could have a 10x profit on this, not even breaking out of its all-time highs, and not necessarily the TI indicators. I want to bring up the volume profile on this for you. You can see that most of this trading has been done around the 2000 zone, so anything above, like, it can just fly for real. On that weekly, you do see some nice volume there, and then on the daily, which is why I'm entering this trade, hey, there's my qtum trade that I was about to talk about next. You know, there it is, your entry. I'm looking at 382, cutting at 368. My first target's 498. That's the 30% target. And I'll update my stop loss right after I get out of this video. But you got a sequential 13 come in right there. If this 2 does not close underneath this 1, you know, you're golden. You wouldn't, if you really wanted to trade time indicators, you would say that you'd be going short as soon as this 2 traded under this 1. And if I were just to remove that and just place a short, I can't short Stratus. I don't have an account where I could do that. But if you were looking to do that, you would then be going something like this, and your 3-to-1 would say that Stratus is going into new lows, and you'd looking to be picking it up at like 800 Satoshis. But, you know, again, I wouldn't do this. If you saw the opposite, if you literally saw the inverse of this chart, brand new highs, you see it drop, you see it trying to retest those highs and it doesn't, that is where you would short the chart if this was an inverse chart. But it's not an inverse chart. You're looking at the actual chart of it. So because of that, I am gonna go long like that. And that's my target up here, like 2040, 2060. Anyway, the next chart, I already explained to you the trade is going to be that Stratus chart, or is going to be the qtum chart, excuse me. Because of this consolidation right here. If you looked at chart patterns, this is what you want to see. You know, you have your first low down here at 382, and then each day it makes a little bit lower of a low, taking out any of those orders that are placed right below that. And yeah, if this too again closed below this wick at like 374, you would think that you would short it. So I do have some leeway in case intraday it comes down below this. But for the most part, I expect this to pop off, and I expect to see 498. So I'm risking again 25% of my account, because after fees, it's going to be 3.88 or 3.86% of a stop. And I'm always going to account for some slippage. My risk to reward ratio on this trade is an 8.29, so I'm just going to call it an 8 to 1. After 500 on qtum, for real, like, where do you have, let's talk about where you would sell. If it flies past that, you have up here at 1,000, 1,200, excuse me, you could sell at 1,000. That wouldn't be the worst. But really you're looking at like 1,200. Here, even up here at like 1,300 would be a good range. You have this wick over here that people may play. You have this dip here that people may play at 1,600. You could have sellers come in at the 2,000 area. But after that, you know, like, it's unmarked territory. Like, you have 2,400. The price ranges over here, like, look at this. Like, this volume profile is all, it's nothing compared to this accumulation that's happened between, like, 750 and current prices. Obviously, because of this week, that week was insane back in March. This drop, you know, people bought it all the way at 200. But you have more volume coming in. I would expect if you're going to stay in this trade past 2,000 or past 500, excuse me, I would really want to see this week right here close above this 6, the wick here. So I'd want to at least see it close at least at 440 or above and take over all of this volume, this whole entire candlestick. But anyway, those are just my thoughts. I'm going to be risking 2% of my account total on both of these trades. I'm not going to buy more Bitcoin at these price levels. Though I do think, oh, it's dropped $100 since I've started this video 13 minutes ago. Let's get a little bit closer of a look. If you were betting on Bitcoin right now and you were betting on today's prices, this is what you would do right here. I know you wouldn't do a short position, you'd be in a long position. If you were trying to go long on that, you could go like that, try to catch a falling knife if you wanted to. That's a 7 to 1 risk reward ratio, just back to the top of the range. And you're risking a % there. But again, because you have this 2, that's obviously going to close over the 1 on the hourly, I wouldn't look to do that. But is this trade, would you get into this trade down here and then short that and then have to pull down a 3-to-1. That's a lot larger of a trade based off of these candle sizes. Like, you don't really see even 3 candles added onto each other reaching this type of a target. So I wouldn't look to place that trade personally. If you see something on a higher time frame chart that you want, sure, maybe check it out. But anyway, we're at 15 minutes, y'all. That's all I want to talk about, was just the trades that I was placing today. I hope y'all stay safe with your portfolio, and I hope to see you trading next week and next month. If you have any questions or you need just an opinion, or don't ask me. I'm not a financial advisor. But if you have questions that you would like my opinion on, sure, go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Other than that, have a good weekday.